Hey! Hey everyone, sorry I've been away for the last month or so. I was completing my LPC LLM exams, but they are done now. And don't act like you didn't miss me. I know you did, and it's okay. I'm here. I'm back. In my last video, I said my next video would be about writing apps. Yeah, well, I lied. That's all I can say really. I'm going to be talking about virtual VAT schemes instead for this video, but rest assured the next video will be about writing applications, I promise you, I think. So before I start my vacation scheme tips, I thought it'd be best to give you some insight into my VAT scheme experience. I've done 3 VAT schemes in my lifetime, one at PwC Legal, one at Womble Bontington and one at Fox Williams. If you have upcoming assessment centres or anything for these 3 firms, please do drop me a message and I'll be more than happy to help you out. But all 3 of my experiences have been in person, so I've been walking into the office acting as if I was a trainee at the firm every single day for a set number of weeks. That's very different to virtual vacation schemes. However, that's not to say that virtual vacation schemes are not important. They are as important as if you were stepping into that office from day one. So that leads on to my first tip. Go out of your way to have conversations and interactions with people in the firm. And let me give you an example of this from my experience. So it was day 1, I was keen, ready to go. I step into the office, have my introductory talks, then go to my team. There is one person in the team already in my room which I'm sharing with, and she informs me that my trainee solicitor, so my buddy for that week, was actually not available that morning. He had to suddenly go off to court for an urgent hearing. So here I was sat at my desk thinking, okay, I have nothing really to do. I haven't really introduced myself to other members of the firm, so why not do it myself? So here I was knocking on every door like, hi, I'm Simran, nice to meet you, and really kind of engaging in conversation, introducing themselves and letting them know that if they needed any help with anything, I was there for the week to help them out. And that actually reflected really well. Some of the partners said to me, I really appreciate that you went out of your way to introduce yourself to us. That then translated to my performance throughout the VAT scheme. I was there saying to partners, do you mind having a 30-minute catch-up over coffee? There was one particular partner at one firm who was there from his traineeship. So imagine being at the firm for that long. That really intrigued me. I wanted to know, why did he want to stay there? What made the firm so special to him that he did not consider any other firm? Now, how can you convert this experience into a virtual VAT scheme? Maybe there will be people that you meet, partners, trainees that you meet at networking events or seminars or lectures, or just conversations that you're having with people in the team that you're in and introduced to. Go out of your way to send a little email saying, hi Alice, do you mind having a small catch-up? I have a couple of questions to ask you. Can we have a meeting over Zoom about it? And that just really shows that you're putting yourself out there, getting to know members of the firm. Okay, so let's talk now about tip number 2. That was funky, wasn't it? 2. Keep a diary journal documenting everything that you've been up to every single day of your VAT scheme. And you may be thinking, why is this important? Firstly, at some VAT schemes you have a final TC interview, and this is very, very important towards you gaining and converting your VAT scheme into a training contract. If you have kept a diary journal documenting what you've been up to every single day, documenting how you felt when you were given certain challenges, how you overcame those challenges, the people that you met, any particular things that stood out for you when you were in the firm, anything about the firm that has changed your expectations before you walked through the doors, all those things can really, really help you in answering questions in your final TC interview and can really help you provide insightful opinion. Another reason why keeping a diary journal during your VAT scheme is important is because say you are unsuccessful in converting your VAT scheme into a training contract. At least when it comes to further applications, you have a step-by-step, day-by-day diary of everything that you've been involved in, which you can then write about in your applications, talk about in your interviews, without ever forgetting what you did. Oh, the alurudi man, it was too much today. I'm really shy now, I burped on YouTube. So tip number 3, try and read up around the areas of law or the practice areas that you are going to go into before your virtual VAT scheme starts. And what do I mean by this? So, from my personal experiences, I have been an insolvency paralegal and I've been a real estate paralegal, which means that I have some kind of background idea as to what those practice areas involve. So luckily for one of my back schemes, I was placed in the insolvency team. And this was very helpful because when a partner said to me, "Oh Sim, do you know what a stat demand is?" I said, yeah. They didn't have to kind of spend time explaining it to me, and actually it impressed them that I had that background knowledge. Another example is because I was a real estate paralegal, when I was helping out the real estate team during my back scheme, I was already familiar with the format of a lease, and that meant that when I was proofreading, I was able to pick up on a few things or ask a few questions to the partner, and that really impressed them because it showed to them that I had the requisite legal knowledge but also the inquisitive mind to ask questions. Now, for those of you who have not done paralegal experience or you're in a practice area which is completely unfamiliar to you, put yourself in an advantage. Does that mean put yourself at an advantage? Put yourself at an advantage. Give yourself a head start. Let's just change it to that. This isn't just limited to the practice areas that you're going to be sitting in, perhaps during your virtual vacation scheme. If you know that you are going to have a talk at midday about legal technology, why don't you read up around on the subject? Familiarize yourself with names like Kira or HiQ, Luminance, all these big software companies. Are they software companies? Big legal tech firms right now that are very, very prevalent in the legal field, just so you have that background knowledge, just so you can add something special to conversations. And then that kind of links on to my first tip. If you have some requisite background knowledge in an area, you could even drop an email to someone who was hosting a seminar, for example, saying, "Hey John, your talk about blah 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 was very useful. I also read around the subject by reading up on this. I have some questions to ask based on my reading. Do you have 30 minutes to talk about it?" Wow, my telephone voice is sick. I know that sounded really robotic, but honestly it would impress so much. It shows that you are tailoring that back scheme to you. You're making it your own back scheme. So just because this back scheme is virtual doesn't mean that you can't put your all into it. Take initiative, get to know members of the firm, learn around the subjects, and most of all, enjoy yourself. If you've made it this far into the video, well, thank you. I have a few surprises for you, a few little extra tips, because, you know, you truly are my biggest fans and I appreciate you. In the description below, I've added another link to another YouTube video made by another YouTuber, specifically Law and Broader. She talks about virtual vacation schemes as well and how to impress, so definitely do give that a watch. Another additional tip is, I was once told off in an interview for not wearing a blazer. Bearing in mind this was in November, this wasn't for a vacation scheme, this was just a normal final round interview. And since then I've always worn a blazer, and I do think that, of course, in this weather it is so hot right now and it's absolutely just disgusting. However, if you are comfortable with wearing a blazer, then keep it on, and usually in the summer people take off their blazers anyway and just have their shirt, so that's completely fine. Don't deep it too much. And another final extra tip, be early for the events. And what I mean by that is, because it's a virtual vac scheme, you will be in charge of looking out for the software, making sure that's all updated, making sure your video and mic are suitable. You may be asked to go on to video at some point, so please make sure you're presentable. If you're not, make sure your mic and video is turned off so you're not interrupting everyone else. And yeah, you're gonna smash it. Basically, you're gonna do sick. Don't worry about it. The main thing about vac schemes is enjoying yourself and always thinking at every step of the way, is this firm for me? Right, thank you so much for watching my video. Hopefully I'll keep my promises this time and actually make my next video on writing apps. If not, I give you permission to buy me Nando's. Anyway, take care, stay safe in this climate, and see you all soon.